let me tell you something that most people learn way too late. If you listen to everyone, you will end up living absolutely no one's life, and especially not your own. Just pause for a second. Breathe that in. Because today, we are talking about the art of ignoring people. And no, this isn't about being rude or arrogant. This is about survival. It's about growth. It's about protecting your future. And I'm going to prove it to you with a few true stories. Here's the honest truth nobody really tells you. The world is absolutely full of opinions, and most of them are cheap. Everyone, and I mean everyone, has something to say about your dreams, your career, your money, your discipline, your pace. But here's the kicker. Very few of those people are actually living a life you would want to live yourself. Yet somehow, their voices get inside your head. And once they're in there, they do not leave easily. That's why learning to ignore people isn't just a skill. It's a discipline. It's a vital practice for anyone who wants to build something meaningful. Let's talk about someone you definitely know, Michael Jordan. Before he became the legend, Michael Jordan, he was just a kid who got cut from his high school basketball team. He was cut, not benched, not told, "We'll try you again later." Cut. Can you just imagine the whispers? You're not that good. Maybe basketball isn't for you. You should be realistic. Now here is the part that most people miss in that story. Jordan didn't ignore all feedback. He ignored doubt that was disguised as truth. He went home. He cried. And then he got to work. He practiced harder than every single person around him. He didn't argue with the doubters. He didn't explain his new plan. He didn't post motivational quotes. He just worked. And years later, the very same people who doubted him, they were calling him the greatest of all time. It's the same voices, just a different tone. That's the pattern you need to see. This leads us to the first hard truth. People don't actually hate your dreams. They hate the fact that you are brave enough to chase them. When someone tells you things like, "Slow down," or "Why don't you just be normal?" or "Why are you doing so much all the time?" what they are really saying is, "You're reminding me of what I was too scared to do." And that feeling is deeply uncomfortable for them. So they try to pull you back down to their level. Not because they are evil people, but because comfort loves company. Misery loves company. So let's clear this up right now. What does ignoring people really mean? It does not mean being arrogant. It does not mean acting cold or thinking you're better than everyone else. It means being selective. It means being focused. It means being disciplined with your attention. You can still be kind. You can still be respectful. You just don't let every single voice rent space in your mind, because your mind is the most valuable real estate you own. You have to be the gatekeeper. And here's why listening too much absolutely ruins your life. Just ask yourself this scary question. How many incredible dreams have died simply because of other people's opinions? Think about it for a second. Someone wanted to start a business, but their family said, "Oh, that's way too risky." Someone wanted to finally get in shape and go to the gym, but their friends said, "You're fine just the way you are." Someone wanted more out of life, but society's voice whispered, "Just be grateful for what you have." And slowly, over time, they shrink. Not because they weren't capable of achieving those things, but because they listened too much to the wrong voices. This brings me to rule number 1, and this one rule completely changed my life. Never, ever take advice from someone you wouldn't trade lives with. That's it. That's the entire rule. If they don't have the discipline you want, the peace you admire, or the results you're striving for, then their opinion is just noise. Is that harsh? Maybe a little. But is it true? Absolutely. Filtering advice this way will save you years of wasted effort and heartache. Let's look at another true story. Steve Jobs. He was famously fired from his own company. Just let that sink in for a moment. The company he built from the ground up kicked him out. The narrative was that he was done, finished, washed up. Instead of getting into public arguments or trying to defend his name, he disappeared. He went and built another company, next. He invested in a little animation studio called Pixar, and years later, Apple was on the brink of collapse and begged him to come back. And when he returned, he led Apple to change the world. The iPhone, the iPod, the MacBook. The lesson here is that ignoring people doesn't always mean you're wrong. Sometimes it just means you're early. This is why moving in silence is so incredibly powerful. Here's something mature, successful people understand. You don't have to announce your growth. You don't need to explain your plans to a committee. You don't have to defend every single choice you make. Why? Because the loudest people in the room are usually doing the least amount of work. Real progress is quiet, it's focused, it's internal. Let people misunderstand you. Let them doubt you. Let them talk. Your results, eventually, will do all the talking for you. And that brings us to rule number 2. Stop explaining yourself. You do not need anyone's permission to evolve. You don't need a focus group to approve your next move. Every single time you explain yourself, you are inviting doubt, judgment, and interference. You weren't born to spend your life convincing other people of your worth. You were born to become something. In this context, silence isn't weakness. It is absolute control. Think about Oprah Winfrey. Early in her career, she was told she was too emotional for TV, not the right look, and just generally not fit for television news. She even got fired from one of her first jobs. Instead of quitting and accepting that judgment, she kept going. She ignored the labels. She ignored the rejections. She ignored the small minds who couldn't see her vision. And today, she is a global icon, a media titan. It's the same pattern all over again. Ignored early on, celebrated later. Now, here's a part that hurts, but it's incredibly real. People will often support you when your dreams are small and non-threatening. But the moment you start actually winning, they get quiet, and once you begin to outgrow them, they often get critical. This isn't because you changed in a bad way. It's because the distance between you and them exposes their own insecurities. Please, do not take it personally. Growth naturally creates separation. It's a sign that you're moving in the right direction. This is why we have rule number 3. Protect your focus like your life depends on it. Because frankly, it does. Your focus directly determines your income, your confidence, and your entire future. Distraction isn't some random thing that just happens. It often comes disguised in the form of other people's opinions, gossip, and the constant temptation of comparison. The more focused you become, the fewer people you will feel the need to explain anything to. Your energy will be on the work, not on the chatter. And let's be completely honest about something. This path, the path of ignoring the noise, can feel lonely. It really can. You might lose some friends. You'll definitely lose the approval of certain people. You will trade comfort for growth. But here's what you gain: clarity, strength, and a deep sense of self-respect that no one can ever take from you. Loneliness is not the enemy here. Staying stuck in a life you don't love, surrounded by people who don't get it, that is the real enemy. So let's end with this final truth, and I want you to listen closely. Most people will not clap for you when you start. They won't. They'll watch you. They'll judge you. They will doubt you. Then one day, after all the work, after all the silence, they'll come around and ask you how you did it. It's the same people, just with a completely different energy. So don't live your life chasing validation. Live for alignment with your own goals and your own values. Ignore the noise, trust the work, and just keep going. Because the people who truly changed their lives weren't louder than everyone else. They were just much, much better at ignoring them. Thanks for watching. If this helped, be sure to follow for more.